here today to give you a review of how to get the prime factorization of a number. Getting the prime factorization of a number is necessary if you need to factor or use the distributive property. It's helpful to know prime factorizations, and prime factorization is also very helpful when you're working with fractions if you have to add or subtract fractions and then you need to find that common denominator. There are two ways that you can calculate the prime factorization of a number. One method that we've learned is that we can make factor trees. So if I have a number, 60, I'd start by thinking of how can I break up the number 60. One way that I can think of is that I could multiply 10 by 6. Now I need to keep breaking down the numbers by finding their factors until all I'm left with are prime numbers, which is why we call this a prime factorization. I know that I can break apart 6 into 3 multiplied by 2, and since both of 3 and 2 are primes, I'm going to just circle them. Now, going back to 10, I can break 10 up into 5 multiplied by 2, and again, since both those numbers are primes, I'm going to circle them. So I can say that the prime factorization of 60 is 5 times 3 times 2 times 2, because all of those numbers are primes. Another way I could say that is 5 times 3 times 2 to the second power, because since there's two 2's, 2 times 2 can also be said as 2 to the second power. Another method that we've learned is called repeated division by primes. So if I have the number 75, I can just keep dividing it by prime numbers. So I know that 75 can be divided by 5, and this is equal to 15. I can now again divide 15, and I'll divide it by the prime number 5 again. 15 divided by 5 leaves me with 3. Now I am left with 3 prime numbers, so I can say that the prime factorization of 75 is 5 times 5 times 3, and since there are two 5's, I'm going to rewrite that as 5 to the second power multiplied by 3, and that's the prime factorization of 75. So we have two strategies that we can use here. We could first make a factor tree and then circle all those prime numbers. Remember, factor trees are ones that will end up looking like this. Or we can do repeated division, making sure that we're constantly just dividing by prime numbers.